This is J. Krishnamurti's fourth discussion with teachers and students at Brockwood Park, 1975.
What were we talking about last Sunday when we all got together here? Do you remember?
Well, one thing I remember is that you suggested to do something for the curiosity and for the interest in doing, instead of the compulsion or the result which we are going to get later on. And
also, I think we talked about curiosity and ambition. And you know that word ambition means also going round and round, but also it means going around collecting votes. You understand? It came from that word, going around to collect votes. You know, you have to be ambitious, all that's implied. So what should we...
I wonder how far can we live or purely from interest and curiosity?
How can we live wholly from curiosity and...
Interest.
Do you remember Tunki ji? Tunki, that we said, to learn, one must be curious. And also to learn means you must have energy to continue in that curiosity. And also it means attention. Remember we said all that. You mean to say that we cannot live that way all through life? That's what you are asking.
Seeing from...
A very ambitious man who's not only going around collecting votes, but going round and round his own particular aim or desire, he's got a great deal of energy. He wants to go ahead. And it's all centered around himself. So, wait a minute. What shall we talk about this morning? Remember we asked last time we met here, what is it that interests you most? What is it that of the greatest cover or covers the whole field of existence? What is the thing that really involves the whole existence of life? Do you remember that? We talked about it. Remember? We said, is it career, a job, a profession? Is it a relationship between you and me and society? Is it the whole movement of thought? Remember? Or is it, someone brought it up, love? Now, you must have, I hope you have thought a little bit about it. What do you consider? We left off really there. What do you consider the greatest coverage, greatest importance, greatest essential thing that will cover the whole field of existence, not only career, not only a relationship, not only the movement of thought, and also love. What is it that will cover this whole field which we call living? Have you thought about it at all? Or you forgot it the moment you left this room? I'm afraid so. So what do you think? You understand my question? What do you think, Philip? What do you think, sir?
It doesn't seem to have one thing you could center everything.
Why not?
Well,
Inquire. Don't say it is not. It is. Inquire, find out.
I feel they all seem to be connected.
You think they're all connected. Then, if they're all interrelated, that is related to each other, then where would you begin? You understand my question? Career, which is job, profession, relationship between man and man, which creates society, thinking, the movement of thought, and love. Now, you say they are all interrelated. Now, where would you begin to say, I will begin there and then take up the whole, which will take the whole? You understand what I mean?
seems that if they were all related, then if you started anywhere, it would take you to...
Start it. You start it.
Well,
If you say they're all interrelated, therefore it doesn't matter where you begin. Because if you begin at one point, it'll all come together. Now where would you begin?
Begin with relationships, sir. With relationship.
With Sushila.
Find out if there were some true or false relationships.
Vibhan?
Wouldn't you have to sort of find out if there were true or false relationships? Wouldn't you have to discern that? I mean, everything is...
No, we are asking if they're all related, as apparently they are, they say so. Where would you begin? Where is the point or something? There is the whole line, curving line. Where would you begin?
Well, the other day you mentioned the word dharma, and you said, everyone has their own talent.
I didn't say their own talent, please, no.
Well, so if they started with what you're interested in, it would lead to the...
I'm asking you now, sir. Would you begin, say for instance, there is this whole field, thought, relationship, career, and love. Where is the starting point? Where do you jump?
I would begin with relationships. Because...
wait a minute, go slowly, think it out. You say you will begin with relationship. What do you say? Thought. Thought. Thought, relationship. Come on. Join the game. Don't just sit quietly. Let's have some fun.
I would begin by looking at thought because that's...
Thought. Same thing.
Most of my confusion.
So you'll begin with thought.
So far, all these things are concepts. We're going to learn about them.
Yes. So
they're a product of the mind.
concepts or a reality or truth, where you say again thought, mind.
About learning.
Le-
want to learn about it.
you learn. You want to learn about all these things, don't you? Is that it? Right. If you want to learn about all these things, how are you going to learn about it? From there or from here? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. From a book, from a professor, from a psychologist, from a doctor, from a... and so on, so on. Where... Would
it have to be a two-way movement?
Yes, my dear lady, but I'm asking you, you're missing the point. I don't want to point it out to you. You are missing the point. Go on. Attack it.
It seems necessary to be able to see clearly that if you're going to learn...
I agree. But to see clearly this, that means to learn about all this clearly. Where do you learn? From where point do you learn? What?
You most likely have to learn this from yourself.
Which means what?
Which means if there's a certain situation you're in, or any situation...
You've got some perfume of it. Hold on to it. Don't let it go with a lot of words. You say, I want to learn about all this. Huh? Right? Where do you start? From yourself. Huh? From yourself. That's all. Don't you? Because you have to have a career, or a job, or a profession. You must learn about relationship. You must learn about what is the whole movement of thinking, and what is love, and so on. And you have to learn. That means I have to have a mind capable of learning. Right? Learning, we said, must be curious, have enough energy to carry that curiosity to this very end, and attention. That is, have you got this? Before you begin to learn. You understand what I'm talking about? I want to learn about how to run that car. I must look at it, be taught about it, learn, drive, and so on, so on. I must have the energy to do it. Right? Have you? No. To learn about what you're going to do in your life. If you're a girl, you might get married, or you might go into a profession. That might be your profession. Bear children, marry, and all the rest of it. Or you might want to learn about relationship. What is a relationship? Our whole society is based on relationship. Then what is thinking? Why does one think this way? Or why doesn't one think that way? You follow? Or you want to find out the depth and the meaning of what is called love. And for that you must have energy to learn. Right? Oh, for goodness sake, come on. And that means, will you give time to cultivate this energy? See, I'm really interested to learn about this thing. So I must spend time. I must discuss. I must go into it. I must be capable of understanding what we say to each other. You follow? Will you go along that movement? Or just say, well, tell me all about it, and I go out and forget it. You understand what I'm talking? If you have that, let's begin. I hope you have it for your own sake, because this is what you're going to face. Career, relationship, thinking, love. This is your field of life. So let's begin. I want to learn about career. It takes a great deal of energy, isn't it? Great deal of learning technologically. I must have a very good capacity to carry out what I have learned. Are you following all this? I must have a certain drive. Because, as I told you, to have thousands of people want that particular job. And if you haven't got that energy, the capacity, the learning, they throw you out. You just go, you have to face that. Not be depressed about it, but learn about it. So what will you do?
Well, I would say if you're going to have the drive for that job, you're going to want to most likely learn how you can make it enjoyable for you.
So that means you must have energy, drive, attention. Not say, well, I will just moon about, casually study, and hope to God that some luck will turn up and I'll get a job. You are faced with this. Don't misunderstand. You are going to face this most violently.
I mean, the drive will be there.
Huh?
It'll be there if you want to say, okay, I'm going to take this job, and it's just going to be a bore for me.
But you've got to do it. Wait, listen carefully. That means you're going to give your energy, all your energy to that.
Yeah.
Wait, listen to it, listen, old boy, listen quietly. Find out. Criticize after I've finished. You must criticize. Don't accept anything. Don't be, just swallow everything. Be skeptical. Ask, question. Don't say, well, tell me all about it, and sit back. See what is implied. You have to spend all your days in your youth. You have to give your energy. It may be boring, but you've got to face it. And also you have to face your relationship with your boss, with your relationship, with everything. Right? And also you have to find out what thinking is, what love is. So the whole thing demands energy. Demands that you be serious, attentive, and have an integrity. You follow? Not just, well, I don't care. Be turned cynical or brutal, or you have to have integrity to say, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. Nothing is going to deviate me. So, see what is implied in learning a livelihood. The world is overpopulated. For one job, there are 1,000 people. So you must excel. You understand? Now, excellency means to excel, to go swiftly forward. Right, sir? comes from the word celere, Latin, to go swiftly. You must excel, not compete in excellence. I don't know if you understand this. Do you? Then it's not excellence. If I'm competing with you, you may be mediocre and I may be mediocre. I may be slightly better. But we are still mediocre. I wonder if you see this. Therefore, in excellence, there is no competition. I wonder if you get this. I played golf. Sorry to talk about myself just a little. I was sometimes +3, 2, 4. You know what that means? Going beyond the par, beyond the, what is it called? You know, you never played golf, any of you? Par, yes. I went 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 2, beyond. Or below par, sorry. Huh?
Beyond or beneath par?
Suppose par is 69, under par I did 67 or 64, that's great. I never competed. Because the moment I competed, I couldn't do anything. I failed, I couldn't, but I wanted to do the very best I could and forgot the rest. I don't care whether you're better than me, probably you are. So, excellence implies swiftly moving. It may mean beyond others, but you're not competing with others. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying? Do you get?
The word excellence arises from the excellence is a related term.
It comes from the word celere in Latin, which means swift. To do things swiftly, to think swiftly, to perceive swiftly, to act swiftly, and therefore skillfully. All that's implied.
Does it have a standard of...
No, there is no standard. Moment you have a standard, you're competing with that standard. I made that very clear. Moment there is a competitive spirit, excellence ceases. I wonder if you get this. Do you? Just learn about it, so criticize it. You understand? See if that what the speaker is saying is real or false or something. He thinks it out. Think it out. If I compete with you in mathematics, what is important in this competition between you and me in mathematics? Come on, sir. Answer it.
But you sort of don't have a
Sit properly.
partial relationship.
Then you give energy. Hmm?
Yeah, well, I would feel it's not at the mediocre level and calling it...
Sir, if I am mediocre, what does that word mean, mediocre? Ordinary. Huh? Ordinary. Hmm? The ordinary person is always competing with somebody else or other. If you are not competing, but be excellent, then you are out of the mediocre. I wonder if you get this.
So if I am mediocre and competing, then I'm not interested in mathematics, but interested in trying to be better than someone else.
Better than X. That's right. So, bearing in mind that the world is overpopulated, that there are 1,000 people for one job, and if you want to excel in your job or profession, you must run swiftly beyond all the others. which is not competition, which is not an Olympic game. You understand? So, to have a career, a profession, you have to study furiously and be excellent at it. Right? Are you going to do that? No. Are you?
Isn't it by the reasoning that...
Okay, listen to what I have said. Are you going to excel non-competitively?
Because by the saying that the world is dead and there is only 1 in 1,000, already the mind have a picture of you have to be better than most of them.
See the picture first, okay? Not details of it. See the picture, which is the world is overpopulated, right? For every job there are 10,000 people. There are strikes, the pound is going down, terrible things are happening in the world. And in this world, if you want to have a job, you must excel, go beyond everybody. Not say, well, I am better than that, than him. There is no better in excellence. You are excellent.
It's not true to get a job.
Huh?
That's not true. Many people get a job because their uncle owns the firm. Many people get a job because they're willing to do what the boss requires.
I'm
in a
telling
sense,
you.
what you're painting is
Wait a minute. Unless you are privileged, unless you have certain talent, then you become a laborer, become a factory. Man.
Yes, but I think many people who are in positions of influence, in terms of owning companies or what have you, have not gotten there on merits of excellence.
I don't understand, sorry.
Many people who have gotten into positions of...
I'm not talking of many people. I'm talking of you. Many people, good God, we don't know their lives, how they got up there.
Yes, but that is a fact, though. They have gotten to that position through corruption.
They might have got it there through crookedness, through influence, through cunning, through talent, through various means. We are not talking of the people who have reached something. I am asking you, who are the students here, facing a world that's overpopulated, everything is in a terrible state, to go beyond all this.
But in the parallel of getting a job, I mean, if you say, you know that you are excellent in something, it's quite apparent to anyone who's willing to look that you are excellent. But that does not mean that you get
I'm
a
not
job.
interested. Please just, of course you may be excellent engineer, but my neighbor has got a friend with who's a cook, whose cook is a friend of Prime Minister's cook, and he talks and gets a job. We're not talking about it. That's pure luck and misery if you can't get it. This is what's happening in the world. So what will you do?
But I mean, what you said is there'll be thousands of people waiting for that job, and unless you're excellent, you won't be picked. And that doesn't necessarily...
That is not, my lady. That's only implied in the sense you may get a job, you may not get a job, even though you're excellent. That's all.
What's wrong with being a labourer?
Huh?
What's wrong with being a labourer?
I didn't say that anything is wrong. If you are good at labour, you excel there. You excel wherever you are. You may be a marvelous writer. Excel.
I think it confuses us a little, Krishnamurti, to bring in the possibility of a job, excellence, despite jobs or anything else. In whatever
So I'm coming to that. Slowly, let's evolve it, examine it.
Well, for some people that I have met, they are, when you look at them, they seem to be very excellent. But the energy that they use to get there is often neurotic.
Quite. Therefore, I'm attacking it, sir. I'm thinking it out, the quality of energy. That's what I want to get at. You follow? No, you don't understand. You're all so sleepy. Come on.
Could Joe expand what he meant, but I don't follow it at all?
I've met people who, because of their insecurity, just as for one illustration, they feel that they have to be excellent, that they're in that sense, that they have to be superior, which...
I object to the word superior. Excellence is not superior.
It does, yes. So that a person may be sitting here and say, yes, I want to be excellent, I want to be what you say, but it requires, to my mind, a careful insight to see if that excellence is without motive, or however you would put it.
Of course.
Or is it just a disguise
So
of ambition?
that's what we are saying. Are you prepared, the students here, are we prepared to meet a life, the world, and go and be excellent in the sense which we are talking about? You may not get a job, or you might get a job. But if you are excellent at something, you follow?
There's another problem. Like Tunki may say to me, I want to be excellent at physics.
Then you are competing with yourself. Instead of competing with somebody else, you are competing, say, I must be excellent. You follow? No?
Well, that's the... I was trying to...
Look.
So this excellence of which you speak is a very serious kind of excellence. I don't think it's clear exactly what you mean.
I will make it clear as we talk about it. Do you have the competitive spirit? Competing with somebody in games, in book, the feeling that you must compete and be aggressive and advance. Have you got that spirit?
I think there is.
I'm asking you, have you, not there is, have you got, okay, to answer a question directly. Why are you competitive? In which is implied aggressiveness. Trying to beat somebody to be ahead.
I want to be somebody.
No, what does that mean? Just learn about it. For goodness sake, I'm not telling you should or should not be competitive. I'm telling you, learn about it. Find out what is implied in that word, in that feeling, in all that. If you say I'm not competitive, then why aren't you? Is it laziness? Is it just, well, I don't care if I'm a doormat, they can all go ahead. Find out, learn. If you are competitive, apparently as you are, why are you? And what is implied in that?
I think in some areas I see that I'm unique and therefore have no need to compete. And in other areas I'm very uncertain and I don't know who I am at all.
So you are unique. So in one field, one segment of life, you are unique.
Only because maybe I've explored that more, but it seems to happen in others.
Are you unique? Not you, madam, I'm certain. Are you unique? That means one. And nobody like you. That's what uniqueness means. Are you? There are millions like you on there.
Maybe we're antique.
So, come please, sir, learn. Why are you competitive? Is it because you are conditioned that way? You see around you everybody being competitive, aggressive, ruthless, brutal.
You find this when you're younger in the high school.
I know. Is that your conditioning?
Yes.
So, wait, listen carefully. If that is your conditioning, is that conditioning good? Good in the sense, not metaphysically or sociologically, is that conditioning helping mankind?
Well, it's not helping you.
Huh?
It's not helping you.
And you are a human being. Does it help you as a human being to grow, to, all the rest of it?
I don't think so.
Therefore, why are you allowing yourself to be conditioned and follow that movement of competitiveness? I am conditioned, just a minute, sir. I am conditioned as a British, as a Frenchman, as an Indian. And I see it is silly being conditioned. So I drop it. So I drop with my conditioning competitiveness. Because that's part of the whole social structure. And I see how absurd the thing is, how brutal it is, and I drop it. Will you drop it if you see it?
If I see it, I'll drop it. My seeing is never deep enough.
Now, so if you see it, all right. Now, what do you mean by seeing? You are learning. Did you see how those bricks are laid outside the room? Have you watched it? Or you haven't seen it at all? You know those bricks out there? Have you noticed it? Have you? No. Why? Have you seen the pattern of it? How it's beautifully laid? How carefully you follow? The whole of it, have you seen it? Have you observed the workman working at it? So you don't see obvious things, right? And you want to see your conditioning. If you don't notice something out there, how will you notice much more complex thing in here? Right? So learn. So you have to look there clearly, and also you have to look here, inside.
What about the mechanics of those types of scenes? The mechanics of scene. If I watch the bricklayers lay the bricks, I may say, yes, I may store the information for...
I'm not storing information. I'm just watching their movements, the way they put the bricks, the cement.
There is some learning taking place now.
I'm watching. I'm not learning. Please, just listen to what I have to say. I'm watching. I'm not learning. I'm watching that bird building a nest. But when I have to lay the bricks to do what he's doing, then I pick the, what's that? And put cement properly as he does. It takes time. Learn the technique.
How did you know what to do?
No, I'm not talking how to do. I'm just watching. I'm not doing. The doing comes after watching, learning, and doing. I can't build a house, but I've seen people build a house. I've seen this structure, this assembly hall being built. But if I have to build it, if I have become an architect and all the rest of it, I have to spend time. And I would excel. I want to excel.
So you mean that when one is seeing something, it's not with the motive of storing information?
No, of course not. First, that's what I'm saying.
In the mechanics of seeing it, I mean, just as your eye is taking in information as to what you're seeing, you have some response in your visual cortex to the colors, whatever you're seeing. Now, I mean, almost in the physiological process of that, isn't there not some storage of the visual impact?
Not yet. Please, I may be cuckoo, but just watch what I'm saying. I see the bricklayer laying it, how he does it, how he bends it. He has been doing it all his life. His back is curved. Poor chap. And he does it very carefully, methodically, attentively. And if I want to do the same thing, I learn from him. Then I store up. Then it becomes a memory. And I respond according to that memory all the time. That's it. What I'm trying to say is, do you see your conditioning? Not what to do. Do you understand? If you are conditioned to compete, and you say, yes, I've been conditioned from childhood, in school, marks, grades, comparing A to B, and my father saying, I must get ahead of that man at home, and reading papers and saying, this man who was a bricklayer now become the prime minister. And you follow this whole movement of competition. And you are the result of that. Because you are brought up that way. Now, do you see it? Not what to do about the conditioning. First, are you aware of the conditioning?
When you say aware of conditioning, do you mean aware of actual facts?
Actual fact.
Not just the abstract.
No, actual fact that I have been to school, grades, you follow all that, and the parents and the society has conditioned me to compete. That's a fact. Are you aware of this fact?
Well, have we been conditioned not to pay attention to, say, the things around us, or have we been conditioned to put our attention somewhere else?
That's it. Put our attention somewhere else. In here. Me, the most important.
Now, if I say, well, that man is right, I should go and...
There is no should. That's what I'm trying to avoid, trying to prevent you from saying should. I say, first, watch. Be aware, see that you are conditioned. Right? Do you see you are conditioned? Come on, sir.
Complex and that.
Thinking is much more complex. I'll tell you all about it if you want to. But don't begin by the complexity. There is this. Are you conditioned as an Indonesian, as this Chinese, this and all that? Are you conditioned? Don't begin the content of that conditioning.
No. Referring back to that competition or what, there is somehow one gets into the living of a certain structure, but then when you go out of that structure, there is somehow fear whether you...
I am talking to you now. Are you aware, do you see you are conditioned to compete? You are competitive, aren't you? You said yes. Huh? Yes. So you are conditioned.
Yes.
That's all. If you are conditioned, do you see that? Are you aware of it? Are you conscious of your conditioning? That when you compete with me, you are competing because you have been through school, college, university, society, has shaped your mind to compete with me. Do you see that? Of course you see, don't you? You see, but you go, I'm making a very simple fact. Then we can add other facts to it. When you play games, when you do things, do you compete with others? Of course you do. My Lord. No?
Yes.
Huh? Of course.
Oh, but the situation is such. It's like if you have to go into a cold shower, you see that...
And I'm not going to cold shower now.
No, it's a simile.
I never go into cold shower because my blood pressure is too low.
It's like you see it somehow, the necessity in a certain...
But Tunki, I'm not talking...
You don't dare to act.
But Tunki, darling, I'm not talking about acting. I am saying, are you aware, do you know, are you conscious that you are conditioned to, and your conditioning is to compete with another? That's all.
Yes.
That's all. Say yes, which is a fact.
Suppose you don't want to say no.
No, don't say, if you are, suppose you say no.
No, well, suppose you say no. I've let you ask that question God knows how many times. Every time you ask it, something in me is not wanting to say yes.
What?
Every time you ask that question, something in me is not wanting to say yes because...
No, are you aware of it? I'm not asking you yes or no. Do I know I'm slightly brown? Not so bloodless as you. Of course. I've got light brown hands, which is different from yours. That's all I'm saying. Then if you are aware that you are conditioned, then learn about it. Why are you conditioned? Has it any value? Has it any significance? What it does to human beings? What damage it has done, what good it has done, or, all the rest of it. Learn about it. Don't say, well, yes or no. No? I haven't answered your question.
He says he feels he's not competitive.
He feels he's not competitive. Is that it?
I don't really know what it feels like to be competitive.
What? You don't know what it means to be competitive?
No, I don't know what it feels like. I don't know whether I'm being competitive or not in something.
I can't follow. I don't understand.
I don't know whether I'm being competitive or not in something.
That's fairly easy. Don't you compare yourself with somebody else?
He likes to say no, but...
I know, if I'm a writer, I might compare myself with Dickens or Aldous Huxley or Bernard Shaw or Shakespeare. If I compared myself to, when I played golf, to a man who was it? Somebody who... Ben Hogan. When I played golf, Ben Hogan didn't exist. Harry Warden was my... Now, if I compared myself, say, my God, how good he is, I can't be as good as him, and I would be depressed and lost. I didn't care. I wanted to play a good game. Come on, sir, answer my question. Are you aware that you are conditioned? If you say, I don't know if I am or not, then find out during the day if you are competitive. When you look at yourself in a mirror and say, well, I'm not as good looking as I thought, or because I was somebody else, or that you're not good at mathematics, that somebody else is better, and so on. So all that is the spirit of competition. I'm afraid most people have it. And I say, learn about it, look at it, see the contours of it, the structure of it, the nature of it, what it involves. Why human beings are competitive. Commercially, what it has done, it has in a strange way, it has produced wars. Competitively in religion, Christianity, Jesus is the only savior. We are far superior to those heathens out there. I won't go into all the details of it. So if you are aware that you are conditioned, don't say it's bad or good to be conditioned, but learn about it, go into it. Are you willing to go into it now? You're all so careful, so sleepy. Huh?
If you
no,
keep score?
I kept score.
Oh, you did keep score?
I did.
Why?
Because I want to each day say, well, I want to live excellent.
But you were competing with yourself then,
no? No, I wanted to play each stroke as well as I could.
Well, then why count it though?
Because that's part of golf.
That's part of the game.
Well, part of the game too is...
I know. Part of the game, I know your trick. You're going to catch me.
But isn't it any instrument in the... Mostly, in any games is made in being competitive.
When you play volleyball, and I've played badminton or so on, are you competitive? Or you don't want to miss that ball at that moment. You want to do it as well as you can. You're not thinking, oh, they're better than me and I must play, beat them. And you haven't time. Your whole energy is taken in playing at that moment with that ball and throw it over the net.
When there is no scoring, I'm not
for God's sake.
It doesn't.
He introduced, Mr. Joe introduced, to catch me.
No, I noticed myself once. I was playing with a stranger, and then when we are warming up, it's so easy. But when the game has to start and there is a score,
then you want to beat the bird, beat the man. So now wait a minute. Oh my gosh!
Yesterday we had a football game with the farm boys, and for the first half of the game, the farm boys were that 1 point against our none. And then after the half,
6-2.
something happened to the people who scored the goals in the forward. They calmed down or something, but they started scoring a lot of goals, one right after the other.
Yes, sir. So, you see, we don't advance, we don't move.
This afternoon we shall have a class, and many people will come. And in fact, mine will be a drawing class. And many people will sit and dream.
Sit and dream?
Dream. And there will be no excellence, not even for a second at a time,
yes,
throughout the whole afternoon.
yes.
Now that is the reality that will happen this afternoon.
I come to your class and I'm dreaming.
And I am dreaming too. I mean,
Yes.
it's not just we all.
So what do? It may be nice to dream in a class.
Well, obviously it is.
And so I tell them, go on dreaming for a little while, old boy, but we're all here learn to draw.
Then what?
Learn.
Well,
They're not, you're all saying, then what? The very learning is the acting.
but the fact is that there are no excellent drawers in this community.
I know that. You don't have to.
No one.
They draw water, but not draw anything else. You see, you know that all this implies we are not very sensitive. Right? We are sensitive to our own desires and wants. But we're not sensitive per se for itself. I'm sensitive to, something. But the feeling of being sensitive to nature, to birds, to drawing, to pictures, to the curtain, the proportions of this hall. What shall we do? Do you really want to learn about competition? Do you really want to learn about relationship? Do you really want to learn what thinking is? Do you really want to find out what love is? Are you really interested in all this? Oh, very casually, let's talk about it. Are you?
Yes.
Now, what will you do about it? Will you pay me?
No.
Then how will you learn?
I'll learn by myself.
Are you learning from yourself?
Well, I've done it.
Huh?
I don't know how much I learn.
And can you learn by yourself?
I think it's the only way.
You can only learn in your relationship with another what you are. You can't just imagine that I am glorious, I am inferior, I am superior, I am conceited. You only learn in action, of relationship.
The fact is that my action learns. I observe the action and learn from the action, but my being learns.
That means, sir, to learn anything, you must act, mustn't you? You must pay in the sense, you must give something in return for learning. You come here, your parents sent you here, and they pay for you to learn. Mathematics and plus something else. So you must be prepared to give something.
Effort.
Huh?
Effort.
And then, not effort. You see, we always reduce to effort and action, give. No, wait, Tunki, I haven't finished with him. Hold on a minute. When I said, will you pay me, I meant in that sense. Will you give something? What do you give?
My wish to learn.
Attention.
Not wish to, you see, you're missing my point. Your wish to learn is like your father sent you here, your parents, and you pay money and you wish to learn. But I'm talking of different kind of, you say, look, sir, I want to learn about relationship, about competitiveness. I must give something to learn. You know, the whole idea of lighting a candle in a church is to give something to God or to whatever you worship from yourself. Not buy a candle with tuppence and then light it. It is a symbol that you are giving something in return for something else. Are you doing that? Not your best. You've got to do it. People take a long journey in an aeroplane, paying lots of money to go to learn Zen in Japan. They pay to learn. And are you prepared to pay? Not money, not something in coin or in sacral. Pay. Give something. Say, well, I am willing to give you my heart to learn.
Or as Jean says, your attention.
Huh?
As Jean says, your attention.
Energy.
Attention to learn.
Which is that you are giving.
Yes, I mean
You say, right, I'll give you my attention. That's all I'm asking. Do you give your attention? Or do you say, well, I'm awfully sorry, tell me all about it, old boy, will you? That's what you do.
Or the reverse. I don't want to learn about it. I would rather stay in what I know.
And then what I know is very little. Then I'll remain stupid. And I mean, that's the essence of bourgeoisie, middle class, whatever it is. If you want to learn, you must give attention. Are you prepared to give attention? Do you know Dr. Perchere? Met him. You've all met him, haven't you? No. He's from India. He's from Rishi Valley. I've known him for several years. And he has taught me yoga. He's taught me breathing. I gave something to it. I gave my attention. I listened very carefully. For day after day I did it. For several months while I was in India. He was with me, traveling with me and so on, helping. I gave time, energy, attention, love, all that I have to find out. Right, sir? Are you doing that? That's the only way to learn. Now, I've learned from a dancer, first-class dancer, ballet dancer, from an Italian captain of the Alpinisti, who are supposed to be excellent in walking 4 kilometers with their weight, up and down the hills. And he was a friend of mine. I learned from him. And he said, to walk properly, watch me. I walked with him miles in Italy. And this dancer showed me how to, you follow? I learned, I paid attention. That you must keep your upper part of your body completely still when you're walking. Not because,
The dancer showed you how to walk.
Huh?
The dancer showed you how to walk.
How to walk? He showed me. And the Italian captain, or colonel, whatever he was, he showed me. I walked with the regiment. He allowed me to walk with him.
But you wanted to learn.
If I want to do something, I give my energy to it.
But you wanted to learn. You want to learn.
Of course, if you don't want to learn, why the heck are you here? Just to pass the time of day? You are learning mathematics, you are learning physics, you are learning about biology or whatever it is, and why aren't you learning about this too? So, what shall we do? I say, please pay me your attention. Give me your attention. That's all I'm asking. That's your pay. That's the coin you give me when I ask you, please be good enough to pay attention. If you say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, then walk out. I don't care, I can go out of this room too. Having stated that, if you are interested, it's up to you. I'm not going to press it anymore. Now, are you willing to learn about conditioning that makes you competitive, that makes you think in one way, that makes you feel that your opinions are so superior? All your judgments. I want to learn about all this. Take one thing. Why do you have opinions? Come on, sir, come on. Is he learning about it? Why do you have opinions? Oh, he's right, he's wrong. This book should be that way. I must do this. You follow? Why do you have opinions? Have you ever questioned it? Huh? What's that? You feel empty without them? Is that why you have opinions? Tunki, listen to what he said first before you find out what he said. He said, I have opinions because if I haven't got them, I feel empty. Therefore, I fill that emptiness with opinions, with conclusions, with what people have told me. This book is right. It should have been written that way. This is totally wrong. It should not be put out. It should be this. It should be that. Why?
Because we've been conditioned this way.
Are you conditioned to have opinions?
It becomes more than, it becomes the way you guide your life, what you see, what you don't see.
But why do you offer your opinions? As pastime, as to when there is silence in the room, you say, well, I'll offer an opinion. Why have opinions? My opinion is superior to yours. Huh? Why? Go into it, please. Why do people have them? Why do they cling to them? Why do they assert it?
Because it's my security, it's myself, it's how I see the world.
So you are learning about opinions. If you are learning about opinions, how have these opinions been formed? Who has formed them? Your vanity? Your inferiority? Your conditioning? Because everybody has dozens of opinions about everything. This room should be built this way, that wall should be that color. You follow? Go on, sir. Why do you have opinions?
I reinforce them every day.
No, you are not. Examine it. Go into it. Give your attention to find out why human beings crowd their mind with opinions.
Because it gives them a sense of authority, of position. It gives them
That's
security.
partly authority. As he said, emptiness, fill it up. Go on, learn, move.
A sense of being somebody.
Yes. If I can say, well, Bernard Shaw said that. I've read Bernard Shaw. Now, I'm asking that question. Is it possible not to have opinions at all? I know why you have them. First, because it's part of our conditioning. We have them because everybody around me has opinions. And if I have no opinions, they think I'm a damn fool. And if I can assert an opinion with authority, because I have read Shakespeare, this, that, and the other science, by Jove, he's a big man, he knows a great deal. And so I feel secure. Now, what would happen if we had no opinions? Huh? Come on, sirs. You're full of opinions, aren't you? Judgments. Bene? Are you? Not probably. Are you?
Well, I can say.
Oh my God! What do you mean you can't say? Don't you judge people?
Yeah, sometimes.
When you judge people sometimes, why do you judge them? And how is it that you are capable of judging somebody?
Well, I don't say I'm capable.
But you judge them. Why?
Well, it comes from, it's instinctive. It doesn't instinctive.
Doesn't it spring in part from the sort of sorting out process that we all do when we're giving a lot of facts? You try to evaluate the facts, say they're conflicting theories about something, or conflicting information.
You see, wait, understand. A computer has no opinions.
No,
right, sir?
Sort
I just see, no, computer has no opinions. It has only memory and facts, and giving that memory out, that's all, not opinions.
No, but it works according to its memory pattern.
That's memory pattern. But if you gave it an opinion, it will repeat that opinion.
Yes. And I think probably...
We just go into it.
What happens with the human being?
That's what you are not going through. That's what I want to... A computer, you feed it. And it will repeat what it has been fed. If you feed it opinions, it will give you opinions. Now, we form opinions without facts. I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know anything about Brezhnev, but I've read papers all about it, and I say, by Jove, what a horrible man. Finished.
Those may be false facts, but still the operation of your thinking takes those things you've read.
That's exactly it. That is, the computer repeats what it has been fed. If you feed it and tell it that it is my sponge, it says my sponge. But when it says my sponge, there is no attachment to that sponge. Right? Right? Are you following this? Are you following this, Tunke? I mean this. You tell the computer, you feed the computer and tell the computer that it's my car. And the computer repeats, it's my car. When it says it's my car, there is no attachment to the car. But I am attached to the car. Now, but just listen. I am attached to the car. My attachment to the car is my opinion, my judgments, my evaluation about the car. I have got so many opinions. The computer has only mechanical repetition of what it has been fed. Right, sir?
That's your opinion.
I said, no, not my opinion.
I'm not trying to be funny. There have been conferences of computer experts in which they're deciding I mean, they offer that as a question. Can a computer have a consciousness? And
now
they have two opinions.
They are beginning to question.
Which is most appropriate to use for a certain thing, and which gives a feeling of selection.
I am asking, to go back, what would happen if you had no opinion? Only facts. The door, the facts. What would happen if you had no opinions? How can you live? We're going to find out, learn. I have a dozen opinions, right? I think this is beautiful, I think that's not beautiful. I am lovely, and my hair is this, and my opinions. I think Wilson is a marvelous man, I think Mrs. Thatcher is an awful woman, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Now, if I had none of those opinions, are you listening? Listen to the end. If I had none of those opinions, what would happen to me? Come on now, find out. Put away your opinions.
If you don't have any opinion, how can you discuss something?
Am I discussing opinions? That is dialecticism. You know what dialecticism is? That is, through opinions, through arguments, through what you say against what I say, to find truth out of that. Through the examination of opinions, to come to a conclusion is still an opinion. That's called dialecticism. Right, sir? Right. I'm getting clever, boy. I'm learning an awful lot. So, we are not doing that. Because your opinion is good as my opinion. But we want to see if a mind can be free of opinions and what happens to such a mind.
If I have a possibly erroneous and limited number of facts about anything, does that constitute an opinion?
No, I'm only dealing with facts.
I know what you think about whatever it is.
I'm only dealing with facts.
But sometimes it's your opinion that they are facts.
Of course, I know the game. I know this. I'm asking something, I won't move away from it. I'm asking you what would happen to you if you had no opinions.
I feel that if I had no opinions, I think I'd feel a lot freer.
Have you tried to have no opinions? And have you tried to be free of opinions?
When does it become an opinion, sir?
I will tell you. My God. Opinions, judgments, evaluation. The black is beautiful, white is nice, for all the rest of it. Judgment about communism, about socialism, about Mr. Thatcher, Prime Minister, this, opinions,
But suppose you get into a hazy area. Like, for instance, you may say, oh, the lawn needs cutting. And I may say, oh, it could wait for 2 weeks.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm saying, have you ever tried to be free of opinions? To have no opinion. I know what opinions are. You don't have to examine it too much. My prejudices, my conditioning, my responses to that conditioning. If I'm an Englishman, I say, I must be English at all costs. We have old culture, we are our particular laws. I heard it the other day, the State Minister for Trades saying we are British, we must remain British. We must not enter into the common market. That's his opinion. And Mr. Smith comes along, Mr. Smith, and it's quite the contrary. We must enter in the community. So, what would happen to me, to you, if you had no opinions? Why carry this burden of opinions? Baggage full of opinions. Have you ever tried it?
Yes.
Huh? Come on, sir.
What do you mean by opinion?
Oh my God, no.
Change its meaning.
What do I mean by opinions? Don't hear, I've explained all more just now. I preferred blondes. That's an opinion.
But you talked about excellence earlier and quality. And valuing does come into excellence and quality.
No, there is no quality. To run swiftly, what it means. To excel, not excel over others, which is superior. I am talking of excellence. Excellence means to run. Celery.
When you run swiftly...
Don't listen to the meaning of the feeling of it. Don't. To run excellently.
What I was going to say, sir, when you run swiftly, you don't have a value of how you should run.
No, you run swiftly. Excel in virtue, which means not that you are superior in virtue as compared to others, you are excellent in that quality. Now, have you put away from your mind all opinions and see what happens? Then you say, look, I've got so many opinions, I don't know how to put them away. Wouldn't you say that? Huh? You would, wouldn't you? Don't be nervous. You would say that, wouldn't you? Now, just listen to this. I've got opinions by the dozen, cheaper. And I say, and you come around and tell me, look, why carry this burden? And I say to you, but I am so accustomed to this burden, it's the part of me. How am I to put it away? Tell me about it. Listen carefully, tell me about it. You tell me what to do. He comes around and tells me what to do. Opinions. But if I say, all right, here is a challenge. You understand? Challenge. Somebody is asking. Now, I want to find out. I want to learn about it. I want to see what happens if I really can put away my opinions. Not how to put them away. Then I'm lost. You understand? Then I want a method, a system, an opinion, a judge. You follow? I enter into all that. But I'm going to see if I can live without a single opinion. I'm interested. I'm given energy. I'm curious. I'm attentive. I love to find out. Not from you. I want to find out. That is to learn. What's up?
The moment that you put that question, can I live without opinions? It's already being freed from opinions, no?
Yes, it is, if you have listened to it. If you have given your attention to listening, when the man says, can you be free of opinions, because you are so attentive, at that moment there is no opinion. You are free. Right, sir? Because when you give total attention, there is no resistance. Resistance is a part of opinion. I won't go into all that. So, This morning we started out by asking if you have thought about what we discussed last time we met here. We said, what is the most essential thing in life to learn? Is it career, profession, relationship, thinking, love? And somebody said, why do you separate them? They're all interrelated. Right? And I said, they're all interrelated. Where is the beginning of it? I know that everything is in, where shall I look? Right? I am a human being involved in all this, in career, in relationship, in thinking, in love. So I begin with myself, because I am that. Right? Right? Because I am the center of all that. So I begin. I say, now, I see I am conditioned to be competitive. I am learning about that. I don't say I must be competitive. What would happen if I am not competitive? I would be destroyed if I am not competitive. I am learning about it. So I study myself being competitive. When I want to beat you at your game, I say I'm conditioned because from childhood I've been told, I'm better, you must be as good as your uncle or your grandmother or whatever it is. I must do this. And so my mind is shaped by words. Are you following all this? By words, by statements, by symbols, by constant repetition from the parents, from the teacher, from society. So my mind is shaped to be competitive. We went into that question, what it means to be competitive. Ruthlessness, self-centeredness, brutality, all that's involved. Violence, aggression. And can I be without any competition? See what happens. When I'm playing a game and I want competing, at that moment I'm fully aware and see if I can stop that movement of competition. Do you understand what? Huh? You're all.
So you say, if I can stop that movement...
At that moment, not stop it. You're all wanting to stop or not. At that moment when you are going out, competing, at that moment be aware and see what happens. At the moment of anger, be aware of that moment. Give attention to that moment. See what happens. Whether that movement goes on, comes to an end, or there is no movement. You follow? Find out, learn. And we said, our minds are full of opinions, judgments, evaluations, all that, whirling around. Find out, learn about it, why you have opinions, and what would happen if you have no opinions at all. I like red, I don't like brown, this is nice, you follow? What would happen to you if you had not a single opinion? You will become extraordinarily free and sensitive. Right? Find out, learn. I think we better stop. Do you want to stop? Huh? Stop. We ought to stop. Avanti.